Billionaire's baby cried for hours at the gala until the black Maid's son did. The Unthinkable, the Lennox charity gala, glimmered like a scene out of a movie, towering crystal chandelier, gold accents, gowns that shimmered like liquid stars, and music soft enough to float. It was the kind of event where people tried so hard to look perfect that even their smiles seemed ironed. But tonight, nothing was perfect. A sound sliced through the room over and over again, a baby's cry, not a soft whimper, a full, aching, desperate scream. Guests shifted, irritated. Servers paused awkwardly. The orchestra kept glancing at each other, unsure whether to continue. At the center of the chaos sat billionaire Ethan Kane, holding his 6-month-old daughter Ivy, who had been screaming for nearly 2 hours. Her tiny face was red, fists shaking, tears streaming. Ethan bounced her desperately. "It's okay, sweetheart. Please, please." His voice cracked. People stared, some whispered, others rolled their eyes, a few even walked to another room. Ethan's composure, the calm, powerful aura he always carried, was breaking. He hadn't slept in weeks. He'd buried his wife 3 months ago, and tonight, the weight of pretending to be strong was crushing him. A server passed by and sighed softly, thinking she wasn't heard. Billionaire or not, control your kid. Ethan's jaw clenched. He was trying, but Ivy screamed harder, tiny lungs shaking the air a few feet away. A young boy stood near the staff entrance, 12 years old. Dark brown skin, hand-me-down formal shirt, a paper name tag reading, Malik helping staff. He watched the scene quietly, eyes filled with something no one else had. Empathy. A moment later, a maid rushed toward him with a tray. "Malik, stay close," she whispered. "Guests don't like when staff kids wander." But she saw where he was looking. At the billionaire, at the baby, and her expression softened. "You want to help, don't you?" Malik nodded. His mother hesitated. She knew what people thought of them, what people assumed, how many doors they'd been told not to touch. But she also knew her son, a boy who had a gift no one understood. She exhaled. "Just be careful." Malik stepped forward slowly. Meanwhile, Ethan was spiraling. He stood, swaying slightly, exhaustion blurring his vision. "Please," he whispered against Ivy's hair. "I don't know what you need, baby girl." A woman in diamonds leaned to her friend. "Some people are rich but still unfit parents." Ethan heard it. His heart shattered just then. A small voice rose behind him. "Sir, may I try something?" Ethan turned, confused. Standing there was Malik, hands clasped, nervous but steady. Guests scoffed. "Is he serious? A staff kid? Oh, this should be good. Security should remove him." Ethan blinked, and then Ivy screamed again, harder, as if her tiny world was falling apart. Malik stepped closer. "May I hold her, sir?" he asked softly. For a moment, Ethan wanted to say no, not because Malik was a kid, not because he was the staff, but because Ethan was terrified to hand his daughter to anyone, was all he had left. But then Ivy screamed, a sound so sharp Ethan winced in pain. He looked at Malik again. Something in the boy's eyes wasn't fear or hesitation or disrespect, it was understanding. Ethan slowly held Ivy out. "Be gentle," he whispered. "I will," Malik promised. The second Ivy rested in his arms, the room watched. Malik closed his eyes, and then hummed. Not a lullaby. Not a song anyone recognized. Sound so soft it felt like warm sunlight, a melody deeper than instruments, a vibration that seemed to wrap around Ivy like a blanket. Her cries softened, her fists relaxed, people froze, someone gasped. Within 10 seconds, the impossible happened. Ivy stopped crying completely. Her eyelid fluttered, her breathing slowed, her cheek pressed against Malik's chest as if she had found something familiar. The entire room exploded with whispers. "What in the world? How did he do that? Is it some trick? Is that even normal?" The orchestra stopped playing entirely. Ethan shattered in the best way. He covered his mouth as tears rushed to his eyes. He hadn't seen Ivy calm like this since before his wife died. He knelt in front of Malik without realizing it. "How did you?" Malik looked up at her heartbeat. He said softly, "And her breathing. She's scared and missing someone. So I matched her rhythm. Sometimes babies just need to feel understood." Ethan stared. The words were simple, but the meaning cut deep. Understood. Something he hadn't been able to give his daughter because he was drowning to. Malik continued humming, gentle, soothing, steady. A woman behind them scoffed. "It's a coincidence, obviously." Another chimed in, arms crossed. "Or maybe she just wanted a break from her father." Ethan flinched at that one, but Malik looked up with unexpected confidence. "Ma'am, babies don't lie," he said calmly. "If she felt safe, it's because something worked." The room fell quiet. Ethan wiped his eyes and slowly stood. "Thank you," he whispered. "Thank you. I don't know how to," but he stopped when he saw something in Malik's expression. A flash of sadness before Ethan could ask. Malik's mother rushed over, pale with fear. "Malik, you can't just..." "Sir, I am so sorry." Ethan shook his head. "No, your son is extraordinary," she swallowed. "He's special. He's always had this ability. We just never had the money for anyone to explore it. Doctors, specialists, they're too expensive." Ethan looked at Malik again. You want to work with children someday? Malik shook his head. No, sir. I want to study the brain. I want to understand why people feel things and how to help them heal. Ethan stared at him. This small boy, from a family barely surviving, had more emotional intelligence than half the billionaires he'd ever met. Without hesitation, Ethan placed a hand on his shoulder. You'll go to any school you want, he said quietly. Medical, neuroscience, psychology, whatever you choose. Malik's eyes widened. Guests gasped. What? That's insane. He's giving that to a maid's kid. But Ethan ignored them. This world needs more people like you, he continued. And my daughter. His voice broke. My daughter needed you tonight. Malik smiled gently. She just needed love, he said simply. Everyone does. Ethan closed his eyes. That was exactly what his wife always said. He opened them again and nodded firmly. You saved her heart tonight, Ethan whispered. And mine. Word spread across the gala. Some people judged, some people envied. Some people finally shut their mouths, but many understood they were witnessing something rare. Humanity. Connection. Grace. Malik handed Ivy back to her father. She didn't cry. Instead, she reached her tiny hand to his cheek and giggled softly. Ethan broke. He hugged her tightly, whispering into her hair, We're going to be okay, I promise. When he looked up, he found Malik and his mother standing together. He stepped toward them. From today, he said, your family. Tears filled Malik's mother's eyes. Sir, we don't know how to repay you already did, Ethan said. You raised a miracle. And in that moment, surrounded by chandeliers and strangers and the weight of a broken world, a billionaire, a maid, and a boy with a gift formed something stronger than status, stronger than judgment, stronger than grief, a new beginning. For all of them. Moral of the S doesn't always come from the powerful. Sometimes it comes from the overlooked, the humble, the ones society ignores. The world changes when we choose compassion over judgment, and when we understand that greatness has no rank, no status, no color. It lives in anyone brave enough to care.